Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Berea City Council meeting, Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please let the record reflect that a quorum is present. This time, I'll call on Steve Cottle to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. Steve.
Would you pray with me? Heavenly Father, we gather tonight to do the work of our great city. We thank you for the many blessings here that we have. Lord, be with us tonight and give us the wisdom to know the right decisions and the courage to do those decisions. Lord, be with the people in our community who are suffering and those who have unspoken needs, and let us all remember to be good neighbors and look out for those within our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Steve Cottle. Is there a second? By Jim Davis. Any discussion on the agenda? Motion to approve. Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The motion carries and the agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our February 6, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion to approve? By Teresa Centers. Is there a second? By Katie Startzman. Any corrections, additions, or changes to the minutes, or any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes from February 6, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is a presentation. This is on Habitat for Humanity, and I'm very happy to welcome Amanda Dubé to council chambers. Amanda, if you would like to step up to the mic here, we'll give you the floor whenever you're ready. And thanks for Donna Angel for facilitating this, where you can come and present. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to come here to this evening. Habitat's very near and dear to my heart, and I'd love to share with you all what our mission is and ways that we would love to move forward and partner with Berea in the future to empower the lives of families in Berea. When most of us think of home, what are some of the things that we think of? Warmth. Anything else? Security. For a large number of people, when they think about home, they don't think about security and warmth and safety. The things that they think about are they're living in a dangerous place, their ceiling could be caving in, they could have faulty wiring that can lead to electrical fires, they can have unhealthy situations where they might have infestations or they have mold in the place that they're renting. They can have leaks. They can live in neighborhoods where they don't want their kids to go out and play because they don't want their kids to witness a drug deal in their apartment complex, and they don't want their kids to walk out and step on a syringe. These are all things that I haven't made up. These are all real situations that families that we have partnered with face in their living situations. So they don't have the warm, fuzzy feeling when they think about home. A lot of times they're moving from place to place to place in effort to find some place safe and secure, but something goes wrong with that place, so they have to move to another place. And when this happens, every time this happens, if there's children involved, they're oftentimes going from one school district to another school district. And so it just makes a lot of instability in the family. Oftentimes they're so crowded in their homes that they don't really, the kids don't have a place to call their own and a place where they can concentrate and take care of their schoolwork and do the things that they need to do. It's these families that we meet where they are. We hear a lot of stories from a lot of different families, and one of the common threads, even though they have different situations and all of that type of thing, the one thing that all of them say is that they felt stuck. They feel stuck in this place where they are. They're trying to work hard, they're trying to do all the right things, but they can't seem to get any traction. Despite their best efforts, they can't pull together enough to make a down payment, or really even most of the time they're having to choose between rent or groceries or other things that their kids need, healthcare situations. So we meet these families in this place where they feel stuck, and we empower them to change the trajectory of their lives. And we do this by partnering with them to build a safe, decent, affordable place for them to call home. And it's like giving somebody, when you're little and you're out and you're wanting to go over the fence, but you can't get over the fence. So your friend says, "Give me a boost." And you put your fingers together, and then you put your foot in there and you go over. That's kind of what Habitat is. We give people the boost that they need, and families that would never be able to achieve home ownership, we help them be able to make that dream come true for them. And after they partner with us to build their home, we don't give them a home. Habitat doesn't give homes away. The families purchase their homes with an affordable mortgage. Affordable meaning that it's not going to be any more than 30% of their monthly income, which is definitely different than these substandard situations that they had been living in before, because a lot of times folks are paying 50% or more of their already limited income. And in a Habitat home, they're living in safe, decent, affordable home for 30% or less of their monthly income. We not only work with families to get them into the home, but all throughout the partnership process, we work with them and to help empower them and give them tools to use. The families that we work with all fall within 35 to 60% of the area median income. If families make more than 60%, they're kind of out of our range. So that's the income qualified portion. And we also make sure that they can afford the house payment. So we work with them to make sure that they can do that. All throughout, we teach them home maintenance, how to navigate the mortgage and insurance. We help them if they having any problem with their credit. So all throughout, we're trying to provide the tools that they need in order to be a successful homeowner. And I know that most folks, if you know anything at all about Habitat, you have that picture in your mind of everybody coming together and the homeowners helping to build their home. And we also work with them to be able to learn throughout that process to be able to make repairs on their homes once their home is complete. In addition to partnering with the family to do this, we have to partner with our community. Our mission is seeking to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And we partner with the families, but we also partner with the local churches and the businesses and the cities in order to help accomplish that. One way that this can be done, because one of the hardest things we have trouble with is land acquisition. And that's one of the top ways that a city can be helpful to their local habitat in partnership, is helping us secure land and lots to build homes on. We just finished a very successful 6-home build in Winchester, where the city got a community block grant and purchased the entire side of one street, and they put in new infrastructure and they reallocated all of the lots and donated those to Habitat. and we built 6 homes on the street. And then once they get their grant for the other side, we'll build 4 homes on the other side. So we would love to start a conversation with the city of Berea about a partnership that we can forge to help the families of Berea in a similar way to find that kind of stability and to empower them to change their lives. Did you all have any questions about Habitat or?
Questions for Amanda? Jim?
Are all the lots gone out off Scaffold Cane Road where there's a? I can't
Oh,
remember the name
Hope
of it.
Estates?
Yes.
Yes, Hope Estates is fully built and yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Other questions or comments for our presenter? All right, Amanda, seeing none, thank you for coming and presenting and
Thank
for the
you so
good work
much.
that you do in Madison and Clark County, correct?
Yes,
So,
yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Municipal Order Number 01-2024. This is an appointment to the Madison County EMS Board that must come from the council. Mr. Gilbert.
Municipal Order Number 0-2024, appointment to the Madison County EMS Board. Whereas the City of Berea appoints 1 member to the Madison County EMS Board of Directors, and a vacancy will occur on March the 15th, 2024. And whereas the city has considered the vacancy at its meeting held on February the 20th, 24, and whereas a motion was made and seconded to appoint Leisha Hayes to a 2-year term, in which motion was approved. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Berea, pursuant to Kentucky law, hereby approves the nomination by the Madison County Judge Executive of Leisha Hayes to represent Berea on the Madison County EMS Board for a 2-year term expiring March the 15th, 2016.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt Municipal Order Number 01-2024, appointing Leisha Hayes to the EMS Board?
So moved.
By Steve Cottle and second by Teresa Centers. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The motion is approved, and Leisha will be appointed to a new 2-year term. Thank you all very much, and I'll add that Leisha is very active and does a great job representing Berea, and we're very grateful for her willingness to continue in that role. The next item on the agenda is Resolution Number 03-2024, Amendment to Transportation Cabinets Ellipse Street Shared Use Path Project. Mr. Gilbert.
I'll summarize Resolution Number 03-2024 as follows. A resolution adopting and approving the execution of an amendment to the agreement dated December the 20th, 2019 between the City of Berea, Kentucky and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, amending the budget and scope of the work agreement and the project end date for the Ellipse Street Shared Use Path Project, extending the project end date to June the 30th, 2026.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt Resolution Number 03-2024? By Mr. Davis and a second by Katie Startzman. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve and adopt Resolution Number 03-2024? Any discussion, comments? Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries, and Resolution Number 03-2024 is approved and adopted. The next item on the agenda is Ordinance Number 05-2024, 688 Scaffold Cane Road Zone Change Classification, and this is the second reading. Mr. Gilbert.
The City Council of the City of Berea, Kentucky does hereby ordain as follows. Pursuant to the authority granted by Kentucky law and the ordinances of the City of Berea, and further pursuant to a hearing held on January the 23rd, 2024 by the Berea Planning Commission, wherein the Planning Commission found that the proposal for the zone map amendment from B1 Minor Business District to B2 Major Business District was appropriate based upon specific factual findings, and said planning commission having recommended to the city council that the requested map amendment be granted. Therefore, the city council adopts the findings of fact and recommendations of the planning commission, and further, pursuant to Kentucky law, the area as hereinafter described on Exhibit A, hereto being 0.79 acres and located at 688 Scaffold Road in the city of Berea, B, and the same is hereby reclassified to B2 major business from B1 minor business district.
Is there a motion on ordinance number 05-2024 by Mr. Cottle?
Motion to approve the recommendation of the planning and zoning.
Okay, it's a motion on the floor and second by Ron Terrell. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Startzman?
I just have a question.
Yes.
I believe we were sent this document, but I can't find it this evening. Can you remind us what category the planning commission used to approve this zone change request, or what justification did they use?
I will recognize Brian Reed, the Assistant Codes and Planning Administrator. Brian?
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like that they found that B1 was an inappropriate zoning classification because and on the grounds that the request was in compliance with the comprehensive plan, land use, and key elements of the transportation plans, but that there had also been major changes in economic, physical, or social nature, which within the area involved and were not anticipated in the adopted comprehensive plan.
Thank you, Brian. Other discussion? Teresa?
Could we ask corporate counsel to give us our options here?
You have three options. You can accept the findings of the planning commission as provided for in the proposed ordinance. You can request that the clerk provide you with the application for a zone change and the videotape of the actual hearing and review that and make your independent findings of fact from your review of the proceedings. Or, third option is to conduct a de novo hearing and hear witnesses live and to make your independent findings of fact with respect to the application for a zone change.
Any other discussion on the motion to accept the Planning Commission's finding of fact and recommendation? Any further discussion? This is an ordinance and will require a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion to accept the Planning Commission's finding of fact and recommendation as outlined in the ordinance. We'll start with Ron Terrell. Ron?
No.
Cord Jane is a no. Steve?
Aye.
Jerry? Ms. Startzman?
Aye.
Ms. Centers?
No.
Mr. Davis?
No.
I'll record the vote as 4 in favor, 3 opposed. The motion carries and the ordinance is approved and adopted. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 06-2024, release of Oak Street Alley, and this is the second reading.
This being a second reading, I'll summarize ordinance number 06-2024 as follows. An ordinance of the City of Berea, Kentucky vacating and closing a certain platted right-of-way within the City of Berea, Kentucky known as Oak Street Alley.
This is the second reading. Is there a motion to approve and adopt ordinance number 06-2024? By Katie Startzman, is there a second?
Teresa.
By Teresa Centers. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll request a roll call vote, and this time we'll begin with Katie Startzman.
Aye.
Teresa Centers.
Aye.
Jim Davis.
Aye.
Jerry Little. Oh, Jerry, okay. Steve Cottle.
Aye.
Cora Jane Wilson.
Aye.
And Ron Terrell.
Aye.
Recorded vote is 6 in favor, 0 opposed. Motion carries. And ordinance number 06-2024 is approved and adopted. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 07-2024. This is the release of Neely Street right-of-way, and this is a second reading. Mr. Gilbert.
This being a second reading of the ordinance number 07-2024, I'll summarize the ordinance as follows. An ordinance of the City of Berea, Kentucky vacating and closing a certain platted right-of-way within the City of Berea, Kentucky, providing access to and from Neely Street.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt ordinance number 07-2024?
So moved.
By Mr. Cottle. Is there a second? By Mr. Terrell. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? We'll move to a roll call vote, and this time we'll begin with Jim Davis,
Aye.
Teresa Centers,
Aye.
Katie Startzman,
Aye.
Steve Cottle,
Aye.
Cora Jane Wilson,
Aye.
and Ron Terrell.
Aye.
I'll record the vote is 6 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion carries, and the ordinance is approved and adopted. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 08-2024, amended budget, first reading. And I'll note that this ordinance did have a city council work session prior to this meeting. Mr. Gilbert.
An ordinance of the City of Berea, Kentucky amending the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget for the City of Berea, ordinance number 04-2023, revenues and expenditures. The City Council of the City of Berea, Kentucky does hereby ordain as follows. Section 1, that ordinance 04-2023 fiscal year 2023-2024 annual budget be and the same is hereby amended so that the amended fund revenue, fund expenditures, and ending fund balances for each fund are summarized as follows. Governmental funds. General fund. Estimated fund balance at July 1. $18,889,000. Total revenue, $17,728,000. Total expenditures, $19,995,000. Revenue under expenditures, $2,166,000. Ending fund balance, $16,722,000.
And this is the first reading, which we did have a work session, but per past practice, I will open the floor to any discussion or questions about the ordinance on the first reading. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, we'll move forward to department head reports, and I'm pleased to welcome Assistant Administrator of the Codes and Planning Department back to the podium, Brian Reed. Brian, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City Administrator. Thank y'all for letting me come in this evening and talk about what the Codes and Planning Office has been doing. First update would be on OpenGov, which is our online permitting and transparency portal. We went live on July 5th, and since then we've processed over 949 applications, taking in over $230,000 in revenue without any major issues. This includes permitting, code violations, business license applications, contractor registrations, and utility billing signups. We feel like it's been a success for all the departments involved, and we're proud to offer our citizens and contractors the flexibility to do these things from one online account and transparency to know exactly where they're at in the process. The typical residential permit takes about 15 minutes to submit. The time to be issued is approximately been cut in half. A permit for a new house is being issued in 2 to 3 days after going through the review process at BMU Public Works and the Codes Office. This is down from the 5 to 6 days that we were doing when using paper applications. Electrical and mechanical permit applications are taking about 3 minutes to complete now. We have a lot of current projects and several that'll be starting soon. Some of the ongoing projects are the Berea College CMIT building. It's a 4-story computer science building. Motor Wheel has an addition and a paint booth fit up. Hitachi is currently renovating over 100,000 square feet of their existing plant. We have a large storage facility at Beaumont with the first phase already complete. We are currently updating our land management and development ordinance. And the apartment complex at Harvest Commons in Beaumont is wrapping up. We have 15 of the 16 buildings now occupied. And construction of the townhomes at the Oak Street development has now begun. Some upcoming projects we expect to start soon are the Starbucks, 2 new storage facilities, the Edwards building at Berea College. We've been meeting with them. They're getting ready to start submitting plans for construction to replace that building. Construction of 58 new homes at Stony Creek is expected soon. 112 unit apartment complex at Stony Creek will be starting fairly soon. And we have a preliminary plat for 102 single family lots at Stony Creek. In the GIS side of the office, we've recently adopted the new stormwater design manual. We've published a new interactive zoning map to provide self-service access to the public. We'll be having an audit through the Division of Water in April and an audit from FEMA in May. Matthew and Amanda have spent numerous hours preparing for these 2 different audits. We've recently received a litter abatement grant through the Energy Environment Cabinet to reimburse the city for the Trash for Cash program. And that program is now available. It can be signed up for in OpenGov, and we can pay nonprofits or school groups $100 a mile to pick up litter. And we hope this helps these groups raise money and also keeps the city cleaner. Any questions or comments from anybody?
Jim?
Brian, do you know the Edwards building, what kind of building that's going to be, what it's going to be used for, or how big, or is it too early in the?
We've looked at some preliminary drawings. It's going to be a 3-story building, atrium, kind of similar in shape to the building that was there, with an assembly and meeting space in the back. Don't have any detail on all the use of the rooms yet. It appears to be more business type, other than the assembly in the back.
Thank you.
Teresa?
Brian, how many units are in each of those 16 down in Beaumont that you were talking about?
We have some 16-unit buildings and some 12-unit buildings. And then they have their rental office that has a gym.
Sure.
But yeah, 12-unit, 1-bedroom apartments. And
they've already
16-unit
rented a
buildings.
lot of them?
Yeah, I would just guessing 60-70% occupied of the ones that are complete.
Other questions or comments for Brian and the code staff? I would just add, Brian, to please pass on our thanks to the codes and planning staff, all of your colleagues and co-workers for the good work that they do. And also, I was going to do this in Mayor's comments, but I'll say it now while you're here. Brian also is serving as the project manager for the toll building recommendations, and I wanted to give Brian a shout out for that because he's doing an outstanding job based on all the feedback I've had, and that's in addition to his regular duties. So Brian, thank you for that as well.
Thank you all.
Would any other department heads like to address the council? No? Okay. Moving forward, would be public comment. Would any members of the public like to address the council? All right, seeing none, we'll move forward to the city administrator's report, and I'll recognize Rose Beverly. Rose, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So the first thing I want to let you guys know is that we did have a bid opening today for the audit services RFP. So Susan and myself and Robin, we opened the bids. We got 3 bids. We got one from Shad Allen CPA PLLC out of Richmond, one from Baldwin CPA out of Richmond, and one from RFH CPAs out of Lexington. So the next step will be to have an audit and finance committee meeting on March 1st to interview the chosen candidates. So we're moving right along with that. Your written report for February will be sent out tomorrow morning. Just want to let you know I didn't forget you, but a holiday and stuff, we're just a little bit behind. And just as you know, we're working on several RFPs. I don't have a lot to report on today, but have a lot that we're working on. So there will be more coming in the future, and I'll have some substantial news for you hopefully within the next couple of weeks. We're hoping to receive news back on the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant for the pool, and hopefully we'll know more about that within the next 2 weeks as well. And since Bruce brought it up, I'm going to piggyback on Brian working as our project manager, since he's here and I could pick on him in person. He is doing the toll building, but now basically all of our projects, and as you know, we have a lot of projects coming up. Not the streets RFP, but anything that has to do with buildings or anything like that, he'll be helping, and he's already figuring out ways to save us a lot of money. He's creative, and I'm really grateful and excited, and I'm already seeing it paying off in dividends having him there to help, and so thank you for that. And thank you for Amanda, because as you know, he's already very, very busy. Their office is very, very busy. So for her to allow her staff to help us with this is, I know, a lot to ask, and it's definitely a good thing for all of the people in Berea. So that is all that I have today, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Questions or comments for Rose? Questions or comments for Rose? You guys are letting her off easy.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Rose.
Thank
Good
you.
report. I just have one comment under Mayor's comments. Tonight we had the first reading of the amended budget, and my observation of that process and everything leading up to the reading of this ordinance is that the planning, the level of planning and detail and transparency with council and the public over the last 6 months, 7 months is incredible. I compliment Rose for her leadership with the budget process, and also with Susan. We're very lucky to have an outstanding finance director like Susan on the budget in particular, but on management in general. But it also extends to the department heads, because we didn't have that many changes. The ones that we have had changes on, you guys were aware of those. You voted on them to make it totally transparent, which tells me that our department heads, our finance director, and our city administrator are doing an outstanding job, not only planning and executing a budget, but managing that during the process. So my hat's off to all of them. The other thing that you'll find is there is a definite fiscal conservative attitude throughout all of our departments, and it starts with the top with Rose. Somebody mentioned it earlier today, savings, and that's what I hear that from all of our department heads. If we can do this, we'll save money. If we can change from going to this supplier to doing this, we can save money. So I hear that over and over again, and I think that that's paying off in our budget and the bottom line for the city. So my compliments to all involved. The next item on the agenda is council comments, and this time I'll begin with Ron Terrell. Cord-Jane Wilson.
No comment.
Steve Cottle.
No comment.
Somebody's going to have to break the streak here. Let's go down to Jim Davis.
It's broken. Two things I'd like to comment on. One is my vote about the zone change on Scaffold Road. I know the Planning and Zoning Commission did their work, and I commend them for doing that and sticking with the comprehensive plan, and I understand all that, and I support what they came up with. However, I think it's public knowledge that the liquor store is proposed for that location, and the problem I had with it's right in the middle of a residential neighborhood. And as the chief told us a couple of weeks ago at the city council meeting, if I understand correct or remember correctly, all the other liquor stores are in commercial districts. And I just had a problem with this one being in a residential neighborhood, and that's my reason for voting no. The other thing I'd like to comment on, I visited David Rowlett, Councilman David Rowlett, today in the hospital. He is doing better, but he's got a long way to go. So just remember him in your prayers and your thoughts, and if you get a chance, stop by and say hello to him. I think he'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next, we'll move to Teresa Centers. Teresa.
Well, I was going to be a no comment too, but since Jim explained his no vote, I will explain mine. I agree with him about the residential neighborhood. I also have concerns about the condition of Scaffold Cane Road there, and we know we've dealt with that path that's coming at some point for a very long time, but it's not there yet. It's going to be very close to campus, and I just had some issues, and I thought maybe we should have a hearing and hear from the general public more, but that was my reason for my no vote.
Thank you, Teresa. And for the last word, Katie Starzman.
No
Katie, you have the
comment.
floor. No comment. We'll go back to Jim Davis with that objection.
I don't know how many citizens are going to hear this, but when there is a zoning change proposed in your neighborhood, come to the planning and zoning meetings and voice your opinion. I think it's very important for the planning and zoning to hear from the citizens and the neighbors of the adjoining property, and just encourage you to come and participate. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other business to come before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Mr. Cottle, second by Teresa Centers. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye.